in the summer. They want him in January. How realistic is this to happening? And there's going to be some extra money involved for Liverpool.
Yeah, I mean, a few days ago, I would have said to you, very, very hard to get Leipzig to do this. What's in it for them? They're chasing the Champions League. They've already sold the player. How much more money can they really charge for, and how much money will really turn their head? They don't really need the money. But I think now, with him coming back into training and, shall we say, being a little bit lackluster, making a point of not really joining in early on when the cameras were still there, I think they're beginning to think about it. And certainly their stance is not nearly as hard as it was in the summer, where they said absolutely no chance we'll let him go in August. I think now there's an indication that they would be listening, would be able to listen and weigh up an offer. And I think that's all the encouragement Liverpool needed, and they will put money on the table. They have a lot of money, as we know. And for them, Keita make a huge difference. The Keita that's not quite in the mood and hasn't really been trying that hard will probably not make that much of a difference for Leipzig. So I would say the stance has shifted over the last few days. I see a possibility of it happening.
And what would the magic number be, Raf, to make this happen? What's the number that makes Leipzig sell now?
It's very hard to say. I mean, we've had some suggestions that 20 million euros on top of the 60 to 70 million euros that they would already make in the summer might change their planning. And of course, you put the two figures together and we're talking 90 million euros. I mean, that is an insane amount of money for a player that cost less than 10 million euros 1.5 years ago. I think that it's less to do with the money and the figure as such as Leipzig having to make that value judgment really on whether they want to keep him for the next 4-5 months or so, whether it's worth that with all the distraction, with perhaps him having a bit of negative energy in the dressing room, all the things I think that Liverpool thought about very hard and made a decision to sell now. Leipzig will go through the same thing, and the money, of course, will make it easier for them. But I think the decision is more about Keita's state of mind and just how much they get out of him, with him very clearly wanting to be in Liverpool already.
Stevie, I'm guessing you would love to see him at Liverpool come the end of January. But at what cost? Is it worth it if it costs another 20 million and upping the total transfer?
I think it's worth it because it would, in my opinion, it would almost guarantee them getting in the top four. So that financial gain from that alone would cover your layout. I mean, if you're prepared to lay out that money to make sure, then it's worth it. And I think that's what would happen.
Right. Raf, do you share that opinion? Would he be the player to get Liverpool over the line into the top four?
I think that's maybe asking a little bit too much of him to say he's going to be the player. But certainly I think Liverpool could do with him right now. If there isn't a possibility at all to make it happen, you would say it's negligent not to pursue it as hard as they can, because that having paid 75 or 65, it depends where Leipzig finish, having committed to that, you could say, you know what, we might as well give him another 20. We can use him more now than wait in the summer. I don't think really Liverpool at that point care about the extra 20 so much. I don't think Leipzig do either, but certainly he seems to be much more motivated to play for Liverpool for the second half of the season than for Leipzig, and I think that might make the difference.